Welcome back to the channel, folks. So, is it women and children or fighting fit men armed with a radical, dangerous ideology? Well, today we're going to be diving into that because there's a series of videos I think that you should see. Some of you have seen this, and maybe some of you haven't. This was posted on Saladin's channel, and I was taken from another woman's channel. I don't know who she is, so if you ever find out who she is, I'll post the link in the description so you can head over and follow her. This isn't my content, and I'm just reacting to it. And we're going to talk about a few other things today. We're going to talk about the alphabet people because there's a lot of stuff going on around the world that you need to know about. And as I said, we need to know what's happening in America because what happens in America comes over to here. The poison that we're seeing in Ireland at the minute seep down from America right into England and into Ireland. And that's what we're seeing today. So we need to always keep an eye on America and what the whack jobs are doing in America and promoting in America to know what our future could possibly be like. Basically, arm yourselves now with what is to come. Because if we don't arm ourselves against this and with the knowledge, then it'll seep in. I'm speaking to a lot of people that blew the whistle on the alphabet people. I'm going to say the alphabet people, not because I'm ignorant towards them, but just for the algorithm. You know what I mean? What I'm saying about the alphabet people, the L's, the dots, the G's, the dots, the B's, the dots, you know what I'm talking about, right? I'm going to call them the alphabet people. But not all of them, I have to say this, a vast majority of them are not bad people, but there is a subculture to this group that is advocating for terrible things to happen to children in America. And whenever you hear their story, you think to yourself, why would you even want that? It's so clearly obvious what you're trying to do. And I've been on many panels with people that identify with the alphabet people, with one of the letters, and a lot of them disagree with what they're actually doing, the alphabet, the subcultures of the alphabet people themselves. So this isn't coming from a standpoint where I'm bigoted against this group or I hate this group or I don't, that's not me at all. I accept everybody for who they are unless you're advocating for speedos to come under a sexuality, then I don't respect you. But if you're, I understand that gay people and people that identify with the alphabet people, I understand that they fought for their civil rights because at one stage it was deemed that it was bad to be gay, and it's good that we live in a society now that it's more accepting. But I can't help feel that an inch has been given to them, but they haven't taken the inch; they've taken a mile. And now what we're seeing is radicalism and a politicized alphabet people actually doing harm to the people who fought for their civil rights. So I'll explain that a bit better. So there's people out there that have fought for their rights to just live normally and to be accepted in society. And now the group that represents them have been radicalized, politically radicalized, which is throwing shade upon all the other people that are just want to live their life. You have organizations like Gays Against Groomers that are on X, formerly known as Twitter, that are very, very vocal against what is happening around the world, not just in America, but in England and all around the world. Because if certain subsections of the alphabet people got their way, children would be harmed greatly. That's all I can say about that. And we're gonna look into that today. I'm gonna react to that today. But first off, we're going to talk about is it women and children or fighting fit men armed with a radical, dangerous ideology, or is it somewhere in between? Because there's people taking videos of a place called Rathmines in Dublin, and this place apparently holds, I'm going to say them, Leo Varadkar's men. I'm being very careful with my words because I know what's happening now. Channels like myself are being attacked left, right, and center. So I'm not leaving anything to the wolves, put it that way. And these people are going by their video recording and they're looking in and they're seeing the people coming off the bus. And I want you to see this. I want you to be exposed to this so you understand fully what is going on here. Leo Varadkar and a lot of people who support him and a lot of people on the radical left, I'm just going to call them the radical left, are actively allowing people into the country and they're allowed to rip up their passport. We don't know who they are. I'm going to drop the clip tonight for you where I explain in depth and break down in depth where that woman McAtee tries to dupe the sheep into thinking that the immigration policies that she has and the process is 100% secure, where I break it down and go, well, hold on, there's where you're duping the sheep, there's where you're lying, and she's lying without actually lying. So a person can come over here, she said a person can come over here, and even if they don't have documentation, they have to verify who they are. Now, whenever she comes out with a statement like that, I think to myself, well, you've lied without actually lying, because how can you verify who you are if you don't have documentation? So one goes against the other. So what she actually means by that is, if a person comes over here and has ripped up their passport and they don't have any legal documentation to prove who they are, where they came from, even if they somewhat prove that they came from a country, the Irish government will let them in, even if they don't have the full identification. And they're fingerprinted, their pictures are taken, and they're given some like a makeshift Irish identification card. Don't quote me on that; I could be wrong about that part, but they're given some type of a card and they're put into an Irish database, which I think allegedly they can vote with that as long as you've got some type of identification. I could be wrong about that. Also, I need to state that. Don't quote me on those two last parts. So yeah, that's, and in my opinion, that's glorified human trafficking. If you don't know that who somebody is and they haven't give you legal documentation to say that they've came from said country to this country, then how do you know that person hasn't been forced here? And now you've just given them the ability to create a new alias to the point where we will never know who they are. And is that the case where the lady, the Dublin lady who lived in London, when she came back over here and she blew the whistle that Ireland was a hub for Islamic terrorism and that there was 150 plus, which could mean 1,000, which could mean 10,000 when you say plus jihadi terrorists residing in Ireland, and she was around the London bombers. So think about it. If you were that way inclined and you wanted to create a network that was safe for you and you hated the West, Ireland would be the perfect place to reside because you're given accommodation, you're given an allowance, you can bring your friends over, you can basically build a small army under the protection of the Irish government. And that's one, people think that I'm a whack job and that's a conspiracy theory. Think about it logically. If you really wanted to do that, which country would you go to first? If you wanted access to the West, because Ireland has access to South America, it has access to America via boats, it has direct access to England. If you just go across the border into the north here, you can get the ferry over. If anybody's ever got that ferry, they will tell you there's basically no checks. So to me, this is a massive breach in national security for Britain and America. And I do believe that all of the ones coming over, not all of them, but a good majority of the ones that are traveling through the border into Texas probably are finding their way into Ireland first and then getting transportation over to South America. That's just my opinion. I could be wrong about it. But the government are actively telling us that it's women and children fleeing war-torn countries. And we're actually going to react to another American clip of Joe Biden where he actually admits that about the mass migration into America. He admits to it. He says to you, but all these things are interlinked with each other. The West, it's not a coincidence. The Western countries like America, European countries, UK, all the same type of migration is happening to all them countries at the exact same time. Do not tell me that that is a coincidence. But first off, guys, make sure to smash that like button, subscribe, hit that notification bell, leave a comment and tell me what you think, and share. Do that if you're watching on YouTube. Very important that you share, smash the like buttons and leave a comment. I appreciate all your comments. I might not get back to all your comments, but I do read them. So your opinions are welcome on this channel. And just know this, guys, I do not censor your comments. I do not remove comments unless it's bullying another person. I will remove your comments, and I haven't had to do this yet. It was a policy on my other channel. If I don't care what you say to me, you can attack me, you can criticize me. YouTube might censor those comments themselves, but if you attack another person just needlessly, that comment will be removed because I won't have anybody bullying anybody else in the comment section, because everybody should be able to speak freely regardless of what their opinion is. But you can criticize me as much as you want. If you're watching this on Rumble, make sure to give this a rumble and a share and leave a comment and tell me what you think. If you're watching this on X, make sure to give this a heart, a retweet, and let me know in the comment section what you think. And the same logic applies across all platforms, guys. Share, share, share. That's the only way a channel grows. And thank you to everybody that does shares. I just checked my analytics on my YouTube studio, and you're sharing all my stuff. So I appreciate that greatly. And thank you to the people that have donated to my Buy Me a Coffee. Do you know what? I feel bad when it comes to that because I didn't promote it, but you just went into my description and you just donated anyway. And to the people that do that, thank you very much. These are hard times, guys. So if there's anybody out there that that's struggling a little bit, but maybe they'll watch this content, don't donate. Seriously, save your money. But for the people that have donated, thank you very much. I appreciate that a lot. And yeah, as long as I'm not here I'm not here for the money. I've got the ability to monetize my content. I could monetize my content if I wanted to, but the reason why I haven't took out an AdSense account for this channel, I had one from my last channel for about a couple of months and then demonetized me, is because I feel like I'm inhibited from speaking about certain things. Once there's a financial gain, then it leads to sort of like a psychological corruption where I feel like, well, I can't say this and I can't say this because I'm a partner with YouTube. Do you know what I mean? So I like the fact that I'm free, and I always feel that, okay, would having extra money be a good thing? Would it allow me to create more content and get better equipment? 100%. But I'm happy the way I am. I'm happy that I can speak like this and I can expose things that are going on around the world, especially in Ireland. So as long as that's where I stand on things. I don't like the whole corruption thing with money. And I do feel like a lot of YouTubers feel like they can't speak about certain things because they have an AdSense account. So as long as I'm not here for the money, but I do appreciate anybody that donates in the Buy Me a Coffee link. So yeah, guys, let's get into the video now. Let's react to Rathmines in Dublin and is it women and children or fighting fit men armed with a radical, dangerous ideology? We've came over to YouTube here, and this is on a channel called Saladin. I will leave the link in the description for you to head over and subscribe. And you head over any content that I use, guys. Make sure you head over and subscribe to the content owners. I don't think he owns this content himself, so you might be able to find the link to the person's channel or the direction to their social media on Saladin's channel. I wasn't able to check that out. I'm quite busy today. So let's react to what's going on here. This is part one of 2 videos of Rathmines in Dublin, and it says is it not a moral obligation to stop Irish people dying on the streets? And to give a bit of context about that, if there anybody watching around the world that isn't from Ireland, right now there's a lot of homeless Irish people, native Irish people. There's a lot of people that have came here legally, that have immigrated to Ireland legally, that have found themselves in a hard position and they're homeless on the streets. Maybe their business fell through due to the what happened in the pandemic, and they're homeless now, and maybe their wife and kids don't see them anymore, and maybe they've got a drug problem, or maybe they just didn't have a good life growing up, and they're homeless on the streets right now, and they have to be met with the people who have came here legally, and the people that have the native people have to watch droves of people coming off buses at the early hours of the morning and during the day, coming from a different country. They don't speak English, and they're automatically given a place to stay, an allowance, clothes, heat, electric, everything. So that's bad enough as it is. But the age-old thing is women and children. I have no issue with that, but I don't see a lot of women and children. So let's get into it now.
That's fucking unreal, isn't it? Oh, look. Yeah, look at the coach. I'm going over and I don't care. It's fucking ridiculous. Our own fucking lads homeless on the street. I know. Oh, that's fucking unreal. This is ridiculous, Anne. You can say that if you don't want to come up now. I don't want you to be. You're all right. You're all right. Look at, they blocked out all the windows. Look. Oh, yeah.
So, that's a red flag in itself. They've blocked out all the windows to this. I'm assuming it's a hotel that's been used to house people not of Ireland. The reason why I say certain words sometimes and say them, don't say them another time, because I don't want my channel filled with certain red flag words. I say them sometimes and I don't say them the other times, but you get what I'm saying with that. People from not off Ireland, and they've blacked out the windows, or they've blocked out the windows so you can't see inside. To me, that's a red flag. If the public is paying for something, if the public are paying with their tax money to bring people over, at least you can have windows there to see what our tax money is bringing in. Do you know what I mean? I'm an Irish citizen. I pay tax. I've worked all over the Republic of Ireland, the North, England. I've paid tax in the Republic of Ireland. So it's all our tax money. All our tax money is going to this. So we want to see what's through the window. Do you know what I mean? And the fact that they're doing that is a red flag, because they, in my opinion, they don't want you to see who it is.
Look. It's a hotel, but now it's for refugee men.
Wow, look at that. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4. I don't know if that's a lady there on the right hand side. That could be check-in. But the fact that they're bringing them through the back, and to me, this is going to sound bad, and I don't want this to sound bad, but I'll say this how I see it. It's like bringing cattle in. The Irish government are treating these people like they're cattle, like bringing them through the back through big industrial doors, getting them checked in, is for some unknown agenda.
Hi. Welcome.
That's a lot of people.
To
I say there's about 15 people. There's a lot of people that just came off a bus there, and that's happening multiple times a day and at night.
Ireland. Welcome. We welcome you all. No homes to go to. No home. No home. Where'd you come from? No speak English. No speak English. No speak English. Where'd you come from? Welcome to Ireland. Ireland. Welcome to Ireland. This is Ireland. Welcome. Welcome to Ireland. Welcome to Ireland. Welcome. You're welcome very much. They think I'm serious.
You see, this is the issue that I have here. This is pure division politics, right? So the government know exactly what they're doing here, right? Now, I'm not saying that a lot of the men that are coming in there are bad men. They're probably all right. But the fact that they come in here without proper legal identification, they just have to verify who they are, like a phone call from said country to say, yeah, that's Jimmy Joe McAkey. Okay. Right, that's who he is then. They don't really need legal documentation. What the government in Ireland's actually doing is they're causing segregation in Ireland and a divide. So, for instance, it's not good for a society to be split, because they're bringing in so many people not off from Ireland. They're housing them, they're giving them an allowance, they're giving them food. And what that's going to create is jealousy with the native people. They're going to think, well, why do you not favour us? And then there's going to be a resentment and a hatred towards that said group of people. So if anybody that comes here and says, oh, it's the big bad Irish nationalist, it's absolutely nothing to do with the big bad Irish nationalists, and they're not bad. They're fighting for their country. And where this stems from is division politics within Western politics that have seeped down from America into England, now into Ireland. And that's what you're seeing here. That's what you're seeing here. And you know, the fact that Leo Varadkar is allowing this, and the fact that there's other political parties speaking about this now, up and comers that are speaking about this now, but the fact that he's allowing this, and this is the thing that he's promoting, to me is very, very worrying, because he wants the country divided for whatever reason.
Yeah. Right, Anne, I'll see you later, right? Oh, welcome to Ireland, man. Yeah. Did it take long to get here? A far trip? Yeah. Nobody speaks English, no? No English?
No English.
No English, that's it. It's hard. How are you going to live here if you don't speak English? That's hard.
Well, this is another thing. They don't need to. They don't need to speak English because they're segregated away from the normal community. They're segregated away from all the rest of the immigrants that have come here legally. They're segregated away from the Brazilians, the Argentinians, the Germans, the so on and so on and so on and so on. They're segregated away from all those people. And this is a subculture of people that are brought in and actively segregated away from the normal population. And that is worrying to me. There's multiple theories I have about that. I understand there's going to be a lot of people saying, well, it's because of this, it's because of this, it's because of this. Okay, we can think that it's that, but we don't actually know the reason. I think it's multiple reasons. It's like a two-sided coin. It's going to benefit. It's going to benefits multiple reasons. So this isn't good. You know, there's people coming in here and they don't need to learn Irish or English. They don't need to learn that because they're going to be segregated away from the population. So they don't need to. I spoke to two lads the other day. They were going to the gym. They thought I worked in the gym, and because I was just standing there because I left my flip flops in the swimming pool part a month prior, and I never collected them. And their beeper wouldn't work, and they came up to me and they started speaking Arabic. And I don't know what you're saying, mate. And I know these two lads that have been living in the north here in a little town. I'm not going to say the town's name for a good 2 years because I've seen their face about, and they don't speak English or Irish. They don't speak English. They should, like, you know, that in itself is to me one of the greatest travesties because they're actively told to come over here, but at the same time they're told not to integrate into society. Okay, would I expect these people to learn English straight away? No, but there should be a program for them to learn about Irish culture, and that, you know, we're hearing things like they're going to stop Halloween because it's offensive to Muslims. Well, this is the home of Halloween. Okay, Halloween is a pagan tradition. It doesn't really align with Christianity either. But regardless, this is a native celebration that was celebrated first in Ireland. So to come into this country and say that we are offended by your native celebrations, well, I would say to those people, will go back to wherever you came from. That's not my issue. You know, this is what we celebrate here, and this is what I'm saying: segregation and wanting to change the law and the celebrations of that land because it doesn't fit with their narrative, and that's one of the things that I'm very, very against. So we've came back over to YouTube here again to watch part two. This is a completely different scenario. It's the same area, but this is now people getting off the bus. Now, as you've seen in the previous video, that wasn't women and children. I didn't see one woman coming off the buses or the taxis or in that hotel in Rathmines. Now, I want to see in this video, was actively told to watch this video as proof that the ones coming off the buses are not women and children, they're men. So, as we've stated, the first video, no women and children. Is there any women and children in this one? Well, let's find out.
Two bags. No women or children. What's the story? No women or children. Huh? No women or children. You're fucking deaf. Who says you're deaf? You fucking moron, you.
He heard the moron part all right, didn't he? So he understands what your guy's saying. And as it stands, I've never seen one child or woman getting off that bus. So anybody on the left, I know there's people on the left that promote just men coming into the country. They promote that. They want radicalism in this country. They want a complete society change. That's what you call anarchists. There's no getting away from that. But I'm talking about the normal people on the left that say, well, no, it's just a whack job conspiracy theory and there is women and children and I see them everywhere. Well, what you're witnessing here is this is two separate videos from two separate people, and they have captured in the Rathmines area no women or children being delivered to the hotels. It's all fighting fit age men, not even elderly men. Fighting fit between the ages of 20 and say 50. That's fighting fit age. And that's what you're witnessing here. So anybody that's coming and saying this isn't happening, it's women and children, here's the evidence, here's the proof. And for the people say, well, this is only 2 videos. These are 2 separate videos taken by 2 separate people. And I'm sure there's going to be a lot more of them. This is why the media is trying to restrict people from filming and speaking. This is why they're bringing in hate speech laws, not to combat hate speech, but to inhibit people from speaking the truth and to have protected characteristics that you can't speak about. And I do think in the future they'll bring in recording and filming laws to inhibit people from doing this also. If not already, because they could turn around and say, well, these are protected characteristics and you're putting them in danger. Do you see what I mean? And we need to be very careful what we allow here. So for the people on the left, here's a little bit of evidence for you.
You what? Yeah. Was you fucking there? Yeah. You heard that all right, didn't you?
That bus driver's thinking there to himself, he's recording me and I'm done for here. Like, I'm done for here. Because he knows he's going to be exposed, and he probably has family members that are worried about the situation too. And he's a bus driver, and he's one of the ones, facilitating this. Now, is it fully his fault? No. If you sat down and you talked to this fella, he'd probably say, look, it's a job. I'm getting paid for it. I'm putting food in. I suppose that's the main thing. But it's going to take a collection of us, workers, people, politicians, to come together and put our foot down and say no. And for the people to think that this isn't working, there was Leo Varadkar was accused of being too strict on immigration, because Leo Varadkar came out and said that he wants to tackle the immigration crisis. And the reason why he's came out and said that is because we're putting the pressure on him, and he's starting to listen, and he's getting pushback from other political parties and people in his own party saying that we don't like this because they want open border policy. So it's working. Keep going, keep doing what you're doing. Don't be violent, protest, and keep getting your voice heard, because it is working. I want you to know that.
No shame.
He's covering his face because he knows.
You should have fucking shame. You're right to cover your face. You should have shame.
That's what it is, guys. He's covering his face because he has shame. He knows what he's doing. He knows he's facilitating this form of human trafficking, and it's terrible. It's terrible. So I'm glad that he has shame. But I suppose if a job's a job and you're trying to put food on the table, you're trying to provide for your family, you'll do anything. If my son was hungry enough, or my family was hungry enough, would I do the exact same thing? I would, and I wouldn't be ashamed about it. I would say, listen, this is what I need to put food on the table for. But I get what you're saying, but he can't say that. He can't say that because he'd be sacked immediately. So there you go, people. That's pretty crazy stuff. There's evidence for the people who don't believe what's going on here. I know you're going to get a lot of people saying, well, that's certain people recording this. There's people in the world, not just in Ireland, that will not watch certain footage because they think it comes from corrupted people. But the footage that they do watch, like state media footage, is coming from actual corruption. You may not like what certain people say. You may not like that, but look at that bus driver's face. He had to cover his face. Why did he cover his face? Why was he ashamed? If he knew that he was doing the right thing, he would have took off those sunglasses. He would have pointed the finger in your fella's face, and he would have says, "You're a disgrace to Ireland," because there is women and children coming off this bus. For the past 15 runs that I've done, it's been a majority of women and children, but he can't say that because the majority has been fighting fit aged men. A lot of them with a radical ideology. A lot of them that are coming from countries where women don't have rights. There's no such thing as LGBTQ. There's no such thing as religious freedom, where some of these countries, Christians have to pay a tax just to be Christian. Do you understand me? So he knows what he's doing, and that's why he's hiding his face. But am I going to get at that singular bus driver? No, because I understand that guy's probably just trying to put food on the table, and we don't really need to be criticizing them. But it will take in the future a collection of workers to come together that are actively facilitating this for money reasons as a job, to say no. Let's go on a strike for that. Don't go on a strike for higher wages just at the minute. There's a reason why inflation's sky high. There's a reason why this is happening. There's a reason why Leo Varadkar has destroyed the economy and there's so many homeless people. It's all, in my opinion, a massive plan, but that's just my opinion. So yeah, let me know what you think about that, guys, in the comment section. So we're going to move on now to the alphabet people, and we're going to react to a series of, I think it was court cases. I think there's something going on in America in regards to gender affirming care, and you really need to know about this because this is seeping down into Ireland. Like, I just want you to know, for any of you that don't know, there was a DOJ, Department of Justice senior, that was convicted, or he admitted to, sorry, not convicted, but I think he's still to be convicted. He admitted to having CP, child P, right? I don't want to say the word. He admitted to having that, and he was on the committee that allowed books like This Is a Gay Book to be shelved in school libraries or libraries in general for 12-plus-year-olds. So a 12-plus-year-old could go in and get this book. And in this book, there was paragraphs where a trans woman with a penis was having sexual relations with a married man. And it went into great detail about this. And there was many other paragraphs that was questionable for 12-year-olds. So it's not a coincidence that a DOJ senior that admitted to possessing videos and images of CP and will be soon to be convicted of this was also on the committee to allow books like this to be shelved for 12-year-olds. That's not a coincidence to me. So you have to understand that's a subsection to the alphabet people, and that's not all of them. There is really good organizations out there like Gays Against Groomers that are actively on X that are exposing the radicalism that's going on within the alphabet people, and they are doing good work. So as long as you know anybody that comes here that is that way inclined or identifies with the alphabet people, or maybe you're just off a different sexuality, maybe you're trans, your opinion is welcome here. And this is not directed at you, because there's some very, very good people. And I'll state this once again. I've got a good friend from the United States of America that is trans, and they say to me, keep me out of the politics of this. And that's something that's never told. There is people in that identify with the alphabet people that just want to stay away from this, and they don't want anything politicized. But there is a subculture to the alphabet people that are politicizing this, and in my opinion, it's for targeting children, and if you're religious, this is satanic, and if you are atheist, this is negative. So it's not good all around. So let's get into this now, and I want you to see this because this is crucial, because this could possibly happen in the future in Ireland. So to give a bit of context, this, I'm going to be honest with you, is I don't know fully what this is, but this is a bill trying to be passed in America in some state. We'll find out what that state is now in just a little minute, but I don't think it matters. It's a part of the world in the Western world is trying to implement a bill, or they're advocating for a bill that I think it's for gender affirming care. So I could be wrong about that, but it's got something along those lines. And this is a person speaking on behalf of wanting to implement this, or fighting against something, like they want something implemented. Or I think there was a state in America that was like, no, we're not doing it, and this is them having their say. And then we're going to react to the radical whack job here, radical left whack job's opinion on it all, and then we're going to react to the sane person's opinion on it all. We'll react to the whack job first, though.
You can end this cycle, and I urge you to do so. A vote in favor of HB 2792 could be the very reason a queer trans child chooses to end their life. A vote in favor of this bill would condemn trans and non-binary kids to death. Should you vote in favor of HB 2792, and I'm going to look at you as I say this, their blood will be on your hands. Yep, thank you. I'm glad to speak, and I'm glad you continue.
So, I'm assuming what this is. I haven't checked this out, by the way. I'll make a separate video about this, but I'm assuming that this bill is for gender affirming care for children. And what that could mean is that you have to affirm if your child comes to you and says to you, look, I am this way, you have to affirm that, and you can't go against that. Right now in America, if you go against that, some states can step in and take your children off you, and they can put them on all the different medications where the wiener falls off. I'll word it like that. And there's fathers outraged that whack job mothers have taken their children off them, and they've taken to them states like California where the wiener has been fully chopped off, and that is promoted by the government. So tell me that isn't demonic if you're religious. Tell me that isn't negative if you're atheist. That is definitely 100% agenda. I do believe it's satanic because I'm religious, and I definitely think if you look into the definitions, they call, a lot of the people call themselves they them, and if you know about, I'm not the greatest of Catholic. I don't read the Bible all the time. There's people well rehearsed in the Bible better than me. There is I am legion, which means I am many. That's what a possessed person said, which meant, there's more than one person in that singular body. And if you listen to the terminology used by a lot of these, wokesters, they call themselves they, them. They're identifying more than one person in that singular body. So that's how I feel about it. And I definitely think this is 100% an attack on children. And what this person is actually advocating for here is a bill that probably would mutilate children. And this state in America, I don't know which state it is, we'll find out in a little minute, has just said, no, we're not doing it. But because it's a democracy, they have to allow the whack jobs to have their say.
To silence our community.
Leave the room or we will escort you out.
May I grab my belongings before I do so? Or am I going to have to get those grabbed by other people as well?
Grab your stuff and
Thank you.
leave the room.
You can end.
So then we're going to come down here. And this is a sane woman speaking. I do believe, I could be wrong about that. And it reads, micro penises, infertility, sexual dysfunction, cognitive delays, vaginal atrophy. I think that's how you say that. Jamie Reed testifies about the long-term effects of puberty blockers and hormones at the Kansas State House. Sorry if I messed that up and got tongue-tied there because I'm trying to understand it fully. So, right. So this is in Kansas. And the other woman that would just watch was advocating for puberty blockers. And this woman is telling you the dangers of puberty blockers. Now, the fact that there's adults out there wanting to give puberty blockers to children, to me, is a massive red flag. If I had my way, any adult that's advocating for puberty blockers for children would automatically go onto a register. Not the sex offenders register. I would have a separate register to that. People who are whack jobs that can still live in society that might have influence over children. So if they go for a job with children, they're not going to get that job. They're not a sex offender, but they come under the bracket of a whack job. Probably different terminologies, but you get what I'm saying. So let's listen to what this sane woman has to say about the whole situation.
Most of the kids that get puberty blockers are boys. What happens with a blocker is their development and growth will stop. Their penis will not grow. Their testicles will not grow. Their brain will have a pause in some of its maturing. And they will go on.
Just that alone, right? If you had to go back 40 years ago, right? And by the way, there's variables in this. There's all different variables in this. You've got people like that are intersex, that are born with both male and female parts. And, I've got a lot of sympathy for those people because basically the doctor chose their gender at birth. So listen, I'm not coming at you one-sided here. I get that those people need gender affirming care, but that statement alone the judge should get up there and say, no, you don't need to say anymore. That's absolutely, you're 100% correct. And get these whack jobs out of here. And we need to open mental asylums again because these people are literally targeting children. So I'm not trying to say that there is children out there not born in the wrong body. I know that happens. But what I am trying to say is that number has greatly inflated by thousands of percentage, by thousands of percentages, because there is an agenda coming from the unions within the United States of America. And why am I speaking about that? Because that seeps into England and that seeps into Ireland. And inevitably, that ruins society. Where did the woke culture come from? It came from America. It seeped into England and now it's in Ireland. It's actively ruining societies in the West. So we need to know what's happening here, because this could come into Ireland. And as it stands, Leo Varadkar is one of the wokest people I've ever came across in my life. He does not care. He would think this is probably a good thing.
On to have lifelong impacts of infertility and the ability to have sexual function. What we used to do with boys who were medically transitioning for their surgeries, for their vaginoplasties, was we would invert the penis, the penile tissue. When you're using a blocker, we no longer have enough tissue to make that vaginoplasty work out safely. And so we're now seeing a change in the type of surgeries that we're doing with these patients also that are making them more dangerous. Long-term effects of cross-sex hormones affect the entire body, but with the girls, we see a lot of vaginal atrophy. We see permanent changes to the voice. The voice will drop, they'll thicken in the vocal cord, things that will just impact the body for the rest of the life.
Why are they targeting children? What have children done in anybody? I'll tell you, children are the most pure thing on earth, and they are the most, we should put them at the forefront of the most protected thing on earth. We need to protect our children against these loony bins that are trying to destroy them. And it's not so much that everything apart from the whack job that spoke at the beginning, everything we know what we know what the whack job's agenda is. We always know what the whack job agenda is. You wouldn't let your kid go in to a house that you don't know, that maybe you see there's parties all the time. It seems like the schools in America and the West in general, it's getting bad in England and Ireland too, are turning into the houses that we wouldn't want our children to go into. Because we know if our children are going to go in there, something's going to be said to them that is going to be crazy. And I can't understand teachers. How can you be a teacher, right? A normal teacher. And okay, you've maybe went to university, you've been indoctrinated into the cult a little bit. But whenever you're out of a cult, you still realize, like, you know, you come to your realization that, you know, well, that was a cult and the stuff that they were talking about is crazy and it's stupid and I'm in a normal world now. It seems like that there's a certain selection of people that become teachers. They go into, not all teachers, a lot of teachers are brilliant. And then they go and teach children. And then it's not just about teaching them the ABCs and the 1, 2, 3s. It's about indoctrinating them into little sort of mini Antifa members where they hopefully grow up to be rebels of society that go against the man and the system. But what it really is, what the underlying agenda really is to target children and then get them to mutilate themselves. It's like, that is what it is. As I said, the percentage of people who identify like this has risen greatly by 1,000%, 4,000%, 10,000%, whatever it is. And that isn't because there's more of those people. That's because more people have been targeted by the whack jobs in Western society that we've allowed. We've allowed this to happen, and we shouldn't. And then you have leaders like Leo Varadkar, Joe Biden. I know they're not chalk and cheese. They're basically cut from the same cloth, except Joe's going to be in diapers in about a month. But you get what I'm saying? These woke leaders, that career politicians that actually don't care about the people. They don't care about that whatsoever. They don't care about the protection of the land. They don't care about protecting children. And they will just allow this stuff to happen. It's blatantly obvious what's in your face. So anybody on the left that's coming on here that's saying, look, the children deserve this, you're a whack job. I need you just to know this. Anybody that is advocating for this for children, you're a whack job. And if I had any power whatsoever, you would be put onto a register. As I say, not a sex offenders register. It would be a register where you are not a registered sex offender, but you are registered that this person for life can never be 100 meters near a child. Honestly. And I would do a whole clear out of the social services and the schooling system, and it would be told, you're here to teach the ABCs, the 1, 2, 3s, history, science, and all the rest. Anything else that you teach needs to be verified under a governing body, But the governing body right now and the unions are actively have been infiltrated by these anarchists, Satanists, negative people that just want to destroy children. You go listen to there's PBD done a podcast with a lady, I forget her name, and she goes against the unions and she says they're the strongest force in the United States of America. So, guys, there is an agenda against our children here, and you need to stand up for this and be outspoken. If you're a parent, maybe you're in two minds, maybe you're in that little group of people that doesn't matter where you are in the West, you're in that little group of people that are like, they're pro this and they're pro that, and they're like, oh, those far righties and those Irish nationalists and those people in Ireland or America, regardless of where you're watching this. And you disagree with what they say, but if you stand up to those people, you might be ostracized. There's a reason why you're going to be ostracized. Be ostracized. You do not want to be friends with people that are pro mutilation of children. Or if you've got a child, if you've got a child and he's hanging around that, they will be indoctrinated, just to let you know. And that's not you being a good mother or a good father. You are putting your children in harm's way. You wouldn't let your child go into a random house to be taught some whack job ideology. Maybe there's drugs everywhere. So why are you allowing this? This is just the same thing. It's just done under the alias that this is for the rainbow. Do you know what I mean? So catch a grip of yourself, be a good parent, and get your kids away from this here. So this is just a 12-second clip of Joe Biden. And I want you to see this because he basically admits here what the plan was. Watch. Remember when Biden called for illegal immigrants to surge the border? This is the guy that told you received 80 million plus votes from Americans in 2019. The same guy called for people to surge the border. Fast forward to 2024. So this was 29. When was this? 2019, and now this is 2024. So he basically openly told you what he was going to do. So let's hear.
I would, in fact, make sure that we immediately surge to the border. All those people are seeking asylum. They deserve to be heard. That's who we are. We're a nation that says if you want to flee and you're fleeing oppression, you should come.
So there you go, guys. Like he's admitted to it there in 2019. Look, in 2019, the same guy called for people to surge the border. That's what they're doing. And the reason why they're doing that is because these people are eligible to vote once they come into the United States of America. These people are eligible to vote once they get their little card in Ireland, in England, in Europe. It's not a coincidence. The same thing is happening to all the same countries in the West. In the West, there's a reason for it, and it's to keep the corrupt in power. That's what it is. They do not care about your native traditions. They do not care about your land. They don't see any borders whatsoever. For me personally, and I'll give you my opinion on this now, I think what this is, a lot of people come over here and talk about the NWO, the New World Order. I definitely think it's got something to do with that. Like, for instance, to call out the hypocrisies on what they're doing here. So, they give off about climate change, okay, but at the same time, they allow more people into their country that possibly could buy more cars and create more CO2 that could destroy the planet. Do you know what I mean? Or they allow so many people in that they have to deport and they have to put them on planes to send them back to Venezuela or whatever country they're coming from. Do you know what I mean? Do you get what I'm saying? So there's that. There's a reason for this. They vote, they keep the corrupt in power, and it is a type of NWO agenda. That's what it is. And it's a complete culture change and class change. And if you think about if there was no pushback to what they were doing, then within about 5 years, we would be living in a hellhole. We wouldn't even recognize Western societies. It would crumble. We would have to flee this country to maybe go to where they come from. Maybe that's a good swap. We'll swap countries because it seems like the countries that they're coming from have really, really good weather. So all the dictators and all the Sharias and all the mad people can go over here and live with the radical left that they hate, that they'll throw off the rooftops once they get what they want. And we'll go and live in the hot countries, and we'll call that the New Ireland and the New England and the New America. There you go. That's just an idea for you. We'll have better weather. Crazy, crazy stuff, guys. So we'll end on this. This is a video from Andy Heisman, but Saladin has reacted to it. Now I'm going to react to it. I thought this was quite funny. So head over and follow Andy Heisman on Twitter and go subscribe to Saladin. As I say, Saladin's channel is in the description. The link for that is in the description. Head over and subscribe and hit that notification bell. But this is Andy Heisman protesting outside. I think it is a campus, and he's approached by a radical leftist whack job. And I think this is fitting. I want you to see this because a lot of the people I do believe that are on the left, not all of them, on the extreme left, I mean, could possibly be suffering from LDs, learning difficulties, and things like that, like things that make them susceptible to certain ideologies. So let's play this here and let's see what's going on.
Big up Andy Heisman again. This is outside Limerick University. Of all places, should be like some reason. And Mr. Allen from the public about what's going on. Boston, Andy, everything.
Oh, look who it is! Look who it is! Hey, look who it is! Yeah.
I've been going here since you still had access to your kids.
Yeah. Are you going to this university? What are you learning? What course are you doing? What?
See that? Straight in there. She's not on this university. She doesn't go to this university, by the way. She's just one of the freaks that follows Andy and Ross around. And seems to have like a great hatred for them. And you can hear it in their voices. And look at their faces when they're talking. Like they're possessed or something. And go straight up to him, attacking him, saying he's this and he's that. Mad.
Yeah, what are you doing?
It's amazing.
That's like, man, that's like demonic shit right there. Like even the way they're walking, like scuttling over, it's like she's going to attack you. Like that's scary, man. Like this is proper scary stuff.
Cute.
You're very good. Can you tell us what your problem with us is, please, if you don't mind? She thought her fist balled up. Look. Yeah, keep an eye on her there.
Why are you so small?
That's just her gammy hand.
I'm looking down at you as you say that.
I'm 4'10".
Yeah.
She just says, "Why are you so small?" And she's like, as she said, she's 4'10". I mean, what? We've got a 4'10" hobbit here that's coming after protesters outside campuses, protesting against the radical whack jobs that have took over society. And you know, I do believe, like, this person here seems very vulnerable into the sense that she's maybe susceptible to radical ideologies, and that's why she's doing what she's doing. She looks like your classic 1970s hippie, which they would be ashamed of, by the way. They wouldn't side with these people. And but she's got the modern day jacket on her, and she's now, I would say, I would get her done for hate speech here under the disabled protected characteristic. I would say, well, I'm small because I'm disabled and she's attacked me, so she needs 25 years in the gulag for attacking a protected characteristic.
Yeah, so look, I'm not the tallest man in the world. Where's the crime in that?
Why are you so small?
Because I was born this way.
Oh,
What are you? Are you?
Interesting. Right? See the whispering? It reminds me of, like that's a proper psychopath trait. When they're trying to insult you.
100%. I agree with Saladin here. Do you ever be around? It's mostly women. I have to say, it's mostly women. Men can do it too. Men have got a different type of aggressiveness, but women, a psychotic woman will approach you, and if they really want to hurt your feelings, they'll lower their voice. They'll look you straight in the eye. They'll come forward because they know that even if they hit you, if you hit them back, you're going to the gulag for 30 years under the radical feminism that's came in. And they will say it to you in such a voice, like a calming voice, and that is the sign of a sociopath. I don't think a psychotic. I think they're sociopaths. They're proper sociopaths, like,
with something, but saying it with a whispering tone. Joe Biden. Oh, sorry, I said his first name. Sorry, the big guy, the big man in America. He does it all the time. He's constantly whispering to the American public when he's up there, when he wants to put something through. Keep an eye out for that, right? It's a trait of a narcissist, psychopath. Why are you so small?
Sizist? Are you sizist? Are you a sizist?
Sizist.
What's wrong with you?
You're just a little
Because-
man. You're Tom Tom.
Tom, yes.
Jesus Christ.
What, is that all you have?
It's really ironic that she's attacking him for his size, but she also backs the government with their protected characteristics. So that's the hypocrisy of the radical left. They don't understand what they're actually fighting for. They are the most racist people. They are the people that hate society. They want to rip down society because they hate themselves. And everything that they stand for is hypocritical and contradictive. And their argument is void and null.
Have to offer. So you're
Aren't you
voting
the
no.
one that...
You're voting no. It's me.
Oh my God, I wish I could just speak like that. And
What'd she say, Andy? Andy?
I have you run off like a Jack Russell Terrier. Get off this
But you're the
campus.
dog
Get
here, though.
off.
You're the dog here,
this
not me.
You see, as you can see now, she realised that they're just having a bit of crack with her. They've not taken anything to offence. They're not going to be aggressive towards her. So what she's going to do now is, because she's a sociopath and probably a control freak, she is now going to get aggressive with them, I'm assuming. I haven't seen this part now.
Me.
Goddamn right, I've got that
Yeah,
dog
I know.
in me.
Yeah, you do.
What have you got in you?
Not a dog.
Tiger.
She's got a dog. This is Eddie Alvarez, folks. Maybe this is Eddie Alvarez. Maybe Eddie's joined the radical left and this is how he's transitioned. Possibly. She's got that dog in her.
Anyway.
Seriously, get out of here.
Hello, we're looking for a no
You came
vote.
into my... Yeah, that's not what I'm looking for. Sorry.
We're like,
She's absolutely scundered. This poor woman here is absolutely scundered. This person's probably just normal left. And she's like, oh my God, what are you doing? This is so embarrassing right now because I'm going to be posted all over social media. But I just want you to know you've held yourself very well. And everybody respects you. You're not the other one. You're not the demonic demon that's attacking Andy and his friends.
your library. Your
My
library.
friends.
A woman your friends.
And you threatened them.
And I
If
threatened
you go in that library today, I will drag you out by the foot.
What gender
your
identify
manky,
as, or what gender
stinking
anyone identifies as,
sweater.
really.
Girl.
Another common thing that the radical left do, they promote for inclusivity and diversity and equality, and no violence, and we need to live in this utopia, while at the same time anybody that opposes their views, they're violent and they will actively target them and be racist and bigoted and everything. Look at Gays Against Groomers, for instance. Gays Against Groomers, they have went against the alphabet people, and the alphabet people call them some horrendous names, like bigoted, homophobic names. It's disgusting.
Yeah, seriously.
Look, lads,
These are dangerous
we're
people.
It's mad, isn't it? It's like on full display. The psychopaths are on full display. She goes over to a random person saying, girl, these men are dangerous. Whereas she's the one that comes up to them and
100%. I think I'll leave it there. So if you want to go watch the full video, head over to Saladin's channel. The link is in the description. So yeah, 100% agree with Saladin there, 100%, because she's approaching random women thinking that they are her allies, but realistically, even though they might disagree with the men that are on the campus, they're not going to publicly humiliate themselves. And actually, I would like to have a conversation with the people who generally opposed to the opinions of Andy Heisman and sit down and have an actual good political debate on this here. And I think that's what's missing. But I think that's what the point is. The radical left do not want any type of unity. They want chaos, and they want to create as much mayhem as possible. Basically the same as like Hitler. Right, guys, that's the end of the video. If you're watching this on YouTube, make sure to smash that like button, subscribe, hit the notification bell, leave a comment in the comment section, and yeah, share. Thanks to everybody that shares. I'm getting a lot of shares at the minute. I spoke about that at the start of the video with my analytics. They basically say that I'm getting thousands of shares, so that's brilliant. Excellent. Thank you very much. If you're watching this on X, formerly known as Twitter, make sure to give this a heart and a retweet and let me know in the comment section what you think. If you're watching this on Rumble, make sure to give this a rumble and leave a comment in the comment section. And the same logic applies to all platforms. Share. And yes, thank you to everybody that has donated to me in the Buy Me a Coffee link. You don't have to. I wasn't even promoting it, but listen, I'm not here for the money. For people out there, it's very, very hard times we're in, and I would if people are going through a hard time, do not be donating. There's too many people. I was watching YouTube the other day. There's so many different demographics on YouTube where people are taking money and people, and like, we're living in hard times regardless of what country you're from, America, England, Ireland. I'm just thankful that I can come on here and expose these things to you and speak freely and build up a genuine group of people in this community that are just good people with constructive criticism, people that agree with me, people that inform me on a lot of different things. So these are all beautiful people, and I want you to know that. That is the end of the video, guys. Thank you very much for tuning in. Peace.